everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Engine Room podcast. We are back again, and this time the World Cup is over. Argentina are the champions of the world. They've beaten France on penalties in Qatar. An unbelievable World Cup is over. I think we've got a very, very happy panel with us today. So without any further ado, let's get into things. We've got a lot to discuss today. We're going to be discussing the final, of course, one of the best games maybe that we'll ever see in our lifetimes. And then also afterwards, we're going to be doing a few awards. So team of the tournament, best player, best young player, teams who impressed us, teams who disappointed us. All of that. It's a World Cup special to round up a good tournament. BUGA, say hello, my friend.
¿Cómo están, mi gente? Oh my God, this World Cup has finished in the best possible manner that I could have never imagined. Messi lifting the World Cup trophy, Argentina becoming champions, and Mbappe in the mud. No, JK, I'm joking. Ronaldo in the mud, and yeah, there's plenty to talk, and I'm just really excited to be able to share it with you guys and this wonderful bunch right here, the gang, my friends, John and Pablo.
Absolutely. And John, my friend, how are you? Introduce yourself. And then do you want to kickstart us with, I know it's a big question, but your thoughts on that game? And I know that's quite open-ended, so just get us started. We'll get the ball rolling. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. A little bit under the weather, I'll say. But
okay.
I had plenty of energy to celebrate Messi lifting that World Cup trophy. I am so happy to be waking up this morning in a world where Messi is the World Cup champion. And I'll say this. Much better match than what I expected. I think I predicted Argentina 1-0, and I thought it was going to be a slightly boring match, but I was wrong. One of the best matches in a World Cup final, and the final match. Oh my goodness. I can't say enough about what a spectacle that was. Messi versus Mbappe, back and forth. I know there was a lot more to it than that, but that was the highlight. And in particular, I got to call out Mbappe's second goal to tie it up 2-2, the 1-2 pass, the volley, absolutely incredible. I laughed, I cried. This match had absolutely everything. I can't wait to talk about it with you guys.
Yeah. I mean, look, shall we kickstart with some general thoughts then? Because I know it's hard to condense into all of one. Do we think there was a deserved winner in Argentina there, Bulga?
Yep, I think Argentina at the end of the day were the team that wanted the game more. Just I think from the get-go, Argentina, you could see the energy, the passion, whenever a football game starts, it's about the team who settles into the occasion, into the context, into the context the fastest. And I think that Argentina did that. I think that Argentina entered the game, and from maybe 5 minutes in, they were already controlling it. Like, it was Di Maria. I think that selection by Scaloni to put Di Maria on the left, naturally on his left. We know he's maybe an inverted winger perhaps, but this time around playing naturally on the left with his left foot really opened up France's backline and gave Koundé and both Dembele such a hard time. Really, such a bad game for Barcelona players. I was going to admit in this final for Koundé and Dembele. And generally, I think that Di Maria was one of the best players and certainly the best player in that first half. And I just was going to suggest, guys, what about, I think this game had like maybe 3 or 4 stages, and maybe we can discuss it like that. Maybe we can talk about first Argentina 2-0, then the draw from France, then extra time, and then penalties. Maybe we can divide it like that. And I just wanted to say that I think from what I've seen from all of those 4 segments, like round 1, round 2, 3, and 4, I think that Argentina are the deserved winners after it.
Yeah. I got to say, I think it's incredible, like, because I think 80 minutes of that match, how bad were France, by the way, in a World Cup final? And that's why I think Argentina are sleeping through it, because they were incredible. Like, I don't, and that's why I don't think you can deserve to win the World Cup if you play poorly for 80 minutes. I don't. I know there's like the Real Madrid factor where, they do what they want and stuff and they pop up late, but like, I don't know. I just think Argentina was so superior to France that they deserve to win this game. I think for 80 minutes they ran all over them. They wanted it so much more. France, to me, looked a bit like a team who'd won the World Cup 4 years ago and thought, do we want it enough? And I think that's the issue. We spoke in the preview about how France might play quite conservative, quite within themselves and stuff. And I think that came out to bite them. World Cup final, go for it. You don't want to be regretting a World Cup thinking what we could have done. And obviously Argentina had no regrets, in my opinion, with the way they started the game and the way they carried on. France, of course, pulled it back, with Mbappe out of nowhere, a silly penalty as well by Otamendi. But in terms of that first segment, like you were saying there, BUGA, I think Argentina was so unbelievably superior to France. It was actually incredible. Like, no shots on target, obviously, until the penalty. Like, that's incredible from France, by the way. And I thought they were really, really poor. You can't be doing that in a final, in my opinion. It's just not good enough. And Argentina, like McAllister was superb. I thought De Paul was superb as well. Di Maria, big games, always steps up, does it again. Messi, of course, was brilliant. So Scaloni, again, very good.
Yeah, Argentina were the best team of the tournament. They were the better team in this match, absolutely. Top to bottom, they got it all right. Everyone did their part. Messi and Alvarez up top. The midfield of Fernandez and De Paul and McAllister, like you mentioned, Pablo, absolutely incredible. You couldn't ask for any more. Romero and Otamendi, the center back pairing. Martinez in goal, excuse me. Absolutely incredible. The manager for Argentina, just right off the bat, I know we're talking about the final, but right off the bat, after the loss to Saudi Arabia, saying, I'm going to go Alvarez over Martinez up top. That's a huge, huge move. And there were big names for Argentina left on the bench that you could speculate, particularly after that slow start against Saudi Arabia, could have been panic time. But the manager making the right decisions, including bringing Di Maria back and starting him for this match. I know he was dealing with a bit of an injury, so kept him conservative, did not play in the last couple of matches, started him in this one, strong 60 minutes, carried Argentina to that first 2 goals. So I want to shout out the manager in particular, but overall, Argentina, better team. And if we're focusing on those first 80 minutes or so, I got to think that in the back of France's mind, they knew that they weren't out of it until the final whistle, because even at 2-0, Argentina had already given up that lead multiple times throughout this tournament. So I think France were biding their time, knowing that this was going to be a fight till the end.
Yeah, I think Scaloni got it spot on with the tactical setup. That's something we discussed here, whether we're going to go with a back 5 or they're going to go with 2 lines of 4. And honestly, I think that bringing back Di Maria and playing him on the left was something that France didn't expect. We saw 2 changes before the halftime from Didier Deschamps, and that just tells you how good of a decision was made by Scaloni there. And I think that France were a little bit caught off guard. And something that I mentioned, I didn't know if I did it here in the podcast or in one of the previews of my TikTok, but I did say that Argentina had always in this tournament gone in front of the score. On the result, they've always scored first. And France has always scored first as well, but they have never fallen behind. And whilst Argentina has lost the lead and have lost, perhaps, they show a little bit of resilience. And that's why I'm a little bit more confident in that when they are put against the, how you call it, like a boxer, against the, what do you call that? Again, like
the ropes.
Against the ropes, yeah.
Yeah.
You can see that they are able to bring it back. You know that their mentality is always 100% the game. But France, we had never seen that from France.
That's one of the things that jumped out to me, is that France in this tournament were never really tested. No. They were tested against England, but then Harry Kane let them off the hook. So Argentina were taken into deep waters multiple times. And we talked about that a little bit.
But not even then, because England were never in front. France always had a little bit of a margin. And in this game, France weren't
truly tested.
Yep.
Here's a question, though. One of my friends immediately started texting me because he's a Messi hater. He immediately started messaging me.
Those exist.
Yeah, they do. They found me on Twitter a couple times. But he texted me and said that the results would have been different if France would have had Pogba, Kanté, Lucas Hernandez, Kimpembe, Benzema. What are your thoughts on that, fellas?
First of all, Kimpembe wouldn't have played. And
go on. Let me just preface this. This is my friend's argument, and I want to get your guys' thoughts because I've already torn it down. But you guys go ahead.
Well, if my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike.
Dude, I've heard that before, but that's genius. That's genius.
Well, it's like, I mean, look, I think obviously France would have had a stronger team, Pogba and Kanté. At the same time, I think both those players are slowing down. I know Kanté's slowing down for Chelsea for sure.
Yeah.
in defence, I think they're more than strong enough in defence anyway. And with Benzema, who I think is the main one, I agree that he would have been one of, if not their best player, with Mbappe, like for sure on paper. I'm not saying Olivier Giroud's better than Benzema, but I do think for France he works better than Benzema. Is my opinion.
Yeah, like I think for instance, in the second half, when you take out Giroud and then play, let's say, if you bring on Benzema, that could have been a difference. But I don't know. I don't know if France would be in the final in the first place if it wasn't for Giroud playing. Because
I don't think so.
No, well, I think that you wouldn't have seen you wouldn't have seen Griezmann have that midfield role either. I don't think that would have happened if it wasn't for Benzema playing there, because there's no way he would have played Mbappe, Benzema, Griezmann, and Dembele all in the same team, because you know that Benzema ain't gonna give you that defensive work rate that someone like Giroud is. So, I think that it's like what Pablo said. Like, there's no even a point in discussing this argument. And I also think that in a game like this, a midfield, what happens? What happened?
I'm just laughing at you, BUGA. Sometimes you could just be like, no, that's nonsense. I'm not even going to tolerate that thought.
But the other thing is that when we talk about like Pogba and Kanté, could have they changed the game really? Yeah, of course they could have. But the thing is that, once again, it's not a problem. It's not a problem that France lost because of the player selection. It's because of they lost I think first of all, Deschamps lost it. I think he lost the control, the reins of the game. And it's mentality problem. They lost because mentally, like I said, they had never been tested before. They had never gone behind in the result, in the scoreline, and they didn't know how to handle it. And at the end of the day, bang, bang, Argentina just managed to pull through. And it's a difficult ask when you need to be mentally like 100% in the game. Because sometimes your mentality can deviate, right? And when you're losing, you may be like, "Oh, we're gonna miss this one. It's all coming back," and you choke.
Yep.
And that's what happened to France, and not really necessarily to Argentina.
France. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Pablo.
I was going to say, France will probably be happy they even get it. And not now, obviously, because they lost on penalties. But even if they got it to extra time, if you do nothing for 80 minutes in a World Cup final, even to get it there, like for me, it was just Mbappe brilliance. Brilliant. So you've got to take your hat off to him, because he does remind me a bit of a young Ronaldo. Not Ronaldo, the way he just comes up, he's inevitable. Like, brilliant goal for the second one. But like, even the way, I think he scored 3 penalties on the day, didn't he? In the shot included, even against Martinez and goal, who's so good at them. So he just does it, Mbappe, like no questions asked. So France really pulled it out of the fire. And for that period, I was worried that they had Argentina. In certain periods, especially, like, it was insane. I thought
at the end there, right after Messi had the shot right towards right down the middle at Lloris, and then on the other end, Mbappe comes down, cuts inside, looks like he's gonna maybe get one in. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was end to end. But you said Mbappe taking over is really what made the difference. Back to those players that were missing, I agree. Benzema would have made a difference at some point in this match. But I think throughout most of the tournament, I agree with Pablo that Giroud is the better option in terms of the team play and what you need with the best 11. I love the saying, you pick your best 11, not your 11 best, right? So that's kind of along that mentality. But Deschamps got it so wrong. I think as soon as, nobody was expecting Di Maria to get the start and play on the left-hand side there. That was not even discussed as a possibility on this podcast. So for Deschamps to not respond once that was laid out, once you see the lineup, once you are seeing the tactics come into play there, and you see that Dembele is marking Di Maria, no, that has to be changed. There's no reason for Dembele to be marking Di Maria that deep in their defensive third. That's a tactical error in my book. You're asking Dembele to do something that he's not truly capable of doing. Like, that penalty is going to happen 9 times out of 10 if you put Dembele in that situation.
But what about that? What about that penalty? Because I don't think it was a penalty.
That's a crafty veteran move by Di Maria. He knew exactly what was happening. He got in front of him. He slowed his feet. It wasn't a clear, drag the foot back to create the contact. It was just getting in front of him and slowing down. That's all that was.
Yep. But I don't think, I could have seen that not being given. I wouldn't have been mad. And at the end of the day, Argentina probably won the game because of that reason. because of that penalty, because of then simply putting themselves in front. And at the end of the day, that's the same way that they opened the game against Croatia. Like Croatia, against Croatia, one penalty and Croatia's game plan out the window. And the same with France.
Argentina did have more penalties than any other team in this tournament.
Oh, they got a lot, didn't they?
Yeah.
Not by much though. It was like I think they had 5. Someone else had 4, 3. Like it wasn't astronomical. You know, it wasn't glaring, but they did have the most.
Yeah, I think on Dembele, like obviously he'll be really disappointed getting subbed off there. I do think Kolo Muani is his name, made a really good impact for France. Actually, I thought he changed the game a lot because I think overall France, like, as a team, they can't walk off that pitch and say, good final, lads, because like I say, they didn't turn up, man. They didn't turn up. And Mbappe pulled them up the fire. I thought Kolo Muani was good and, of course, could have won it at 3-3 there. That was an incredible
Oh, my
moment.
God. What a save.
Oh, my gosh.
And then there were certain moments like that. I'm not going to lie. After it went to 2-1, it was one of the most unbelievable football matches I've ever seen. Like you said, John, like when Mbappe was cutting in, like there were certain periods where Mbappe felt like invincible, by the way. I was like, Argentina are done here. Like, I think it was only someone I want to point out, Enzo Fernandez, who I know you guys have said really good, and I've seen him and I thought good young player, but I thought in this game, in the final, I thought he was absolutely superb. Never shied away from a challenge. I thought certain players were backing out of Mbappe. I was thinking, World Cup, get into him, and Enzo Fernandez never did. I thought he was unbelievable for
I'm so happy that he won the best young player. Like he deserved that. So he's such a talent, and he's gonna go right to the top. He's gonna go right to the top.
Looks like it.
Unfortunately, I don't see him in a Barca jersey. I see him in a Real Madrid one.
Well, yeah, because here's the problem. I love what he brings to the pitch, but he is more of a dual pivot type of player. I didn't see him much playing a single pivot in the center of the pitch.
Yeah.
So for me, can we pair him with a Frankie de Jong? Can we pair him
100%.
with a Gavi, a Pedri in there? Yes, absolutely. But it's interesting, and we're not talking club football yet, but it's interesting when Barcelona are willing to concede the Barcelona formation and style of football and when they're not. Just say. We'll talk more about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But I agree with you.
One Barcelona point I do want to bring up, because I think this is relevant. How much damage is there going to be to Dembele's confidence because of this World Cup final and being subbed off so early in the first half?
And giving the penalty away.
Is it going to be a case where that carries over negatively to Barcelona, or could, someone like Xavi maybe influence that, turn that energy into a motivator? What do we think?
Yeah. This is kind of me like character analysis Dembele. I think Dembele is a bit of a weird bloke though. I do. I don't think he's got the normal mentality of most footballers. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I just think I don't know if it will affect him as much as it could affect others. I think he'll be down, more down than maybe he would have been a few years ago, but I think pretty quickly he'll slot back in, just because I don't think it's like for me, he's still too up and down, Dembele, anyway. So I think we'll still see games at Barca January onwards where he's quite down, and other games where he's very up. So I think he'll be a similar sort of pattern with Dembele, and whether that's fortunately or not.
Yeah, I think Dembele, you could really see in this game how after the penalty, that was the right substitution to make. And it's always been the right substitution to make for the champs. It was always like, you're not going to take out this player. You have to bring on somebody new, and it has to be for Dembele. And I just thought that at the end of the day, when you take a look, I really like what you said. And I think 2 podcasts ago, John, where he says like Dembele is never going to be the main man, but he's always going to be the second one. And I think that's the role for Dembele currently in France and probably in Barcelona as well for the future.
Yeah. Should we talk about someone who is the main man then? Lionel Messi. Is the debate over now that he's lifted the World Cup trophy? Is it Messi is the GOAT, period, no arguments made?
Yeah, 100%. Like, what else can you say? There's no way you can put out Ronaldo, bring an argument here and say that he's going to be the best. Maradona, I mean, yeah, we've never seen him play, but what I think that I've seen of Messi so far cements him for me as the best ever. It really is. And for me, in a tournament like this, it was really sort of similar to, I think it was this World Cup. It was his World Cup. He knew it and he played like it. And generally, Argentina wouldn't have won if Messi has not been there. And I think he's just an idol for everyone, and especially for a whole nation. And Messi just grabs that, propels him forward, motivates him, and use it as an instigator to keep playing and playing and playing. And also as a leader of the field, just normally, like I heard this interview right now of Scaloni talking before the World Cup. He went to Messi and he said, Messi, Leo, how I know this is whole Argentina is very, the whole of this country is very, excited about this team, about this opportunity. And Messi's like, I know, 100%. And then Scaloni, what happens if we lose? It's going to be terrible. I don't know how to manage that. And Messi says, we'll manage it because we'll win. Or, we just have to play like we do. And little things like that tells you that he sees the game different. That's how the best way I can explain it.
I was just seeing, what is it, Footy Tunes, back and forth, that conversation between Messi and Scolari. What are your thoughts, Pablo? Does this end the debate for Messi?
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, for me, there was never a debate. For me, my whole life, there's never been a debate whether Messi's been the best player, better than Ronaldo, the best player we've seen, the best player of all time. It's hard for us to say, but I still think he is. But this definitely settles it. It really does. I already think Messi was climbing and Ronaldo was slipping in the rankings. This seals it. This is the ultimate win for Messi. He has shaken hands here with eternity. Like he's done it. I cannot believe he's done it. Like he's
what a quote! Oh my god, that has to go in a t-shirt somewhere or in a mug. Wow, I like that. That gave me goosebumps. Honestly, Pablo, what the hell?
I think I'm on a journalism and creative writing course, BUGA.
Yeah, poetic.
I love it. I love it.
So this is the ultimate win for Messi, winning the World Cup with his nation. It was like the only thing he didn't have, and I can't believe at 35, and it's not like he's hobbled, like coming off the bench after 10 minutes and stuff. Like he's done it as the best player. He's got 2 goals in the final against France. Like he should have got the winner in extra time. Really, that would have been even more unbelievable in my opinion. 3-2, BUGA's prediction, but the debate's settled. I really think it is. I think Ronaldo will be devastated because I think Messi's killed this one once and for all. And I think he will be remembered as the best player of all time, certainly the best of his generation, better than Cristiano Ronaldo. And I think this game, whilst it didn't change a single thing for me, I think it will for the football world. I really do think it's sent shockwaves and this will go down maybe as Messi's greatest moment ever.
Mm-hmm. What about you, John?
Well, I agree with Pablo. I think for Messi fans and folks who really watched Messi's career, the results of yesterday's match doesn't change your opinion. For the Messi haters, for the Ronaldo lovers, boy, is it hard for them to argue against it at this point. I think that Messi's won everything. And here's what does it for me. Ronaldo is a physical specimen. He is every athlete's dream physically. Like he could play any sport he wants to because he's got that physique. Mm-hmm. His winning mentality, his tenacity, his unwillingness to be to be friendly and polite when things are going wrong. That's all great. But Messi, here's the differentiator. Messi makes the players around him better. Ronaldo does not give you that. Messi creates for others. Ronaldo doesn't give you that. Messi inspires the team to do more and to be more than what they are individually capable of. Ronaldo doesn't give you that. So Messi, for me, pound for pound, is the greatest player of all time, arguably greatest athlete of all time.
Yeah, I think
I like the athlete one. He has to be up there, if number one maybe.
Mm-hmm. I have to say that another point, like on the Messi thing, is that I don't know about you guys, but it does. I'm a Messi fan, right? But it also changes things for me because in a way, Messi has completed the sport. Like there's the chapter is closed. I don't need to look for something else in my life to complete this football. I've seen Barcelona win. I've seen win the Champions League. I've seen my nation reach a final of international football. We've had gone to the World Cup. Different things. I keep ticking, and I'm like, I've seen it. And now Messi, for me, winning the World Cup is just it. Like football. I could easily stop watching football and be like, what a great
No,
time.
BUGA, no.
I was like, what a great time. What a great time. What a great time. Everything is done. I can close the chapter now and move to something else, because reality is just like that. And I think Anfield, that one is gonna hurt, but but it's like, you know what? Even when you need to talk about like how do you complete the sport in watching, a defeat like that you're talking about, Anfield is still needed. You know, you still need to see like at a defeat like that, like a disappointment. You need something like that to make it in your history books. And for me, it's just like, what's gonna happen with Messi now? For me, if I was Messi, look, if he wins the Champions League with PSG, then it's game over. Just retire, go, and get home.
Yeah, I don't think he is though. It would almost be nice if that was Messi's last game. By the way, you know, it's in some way. I'm almost more inclined to the Inter Miami move now in a way. Like, it works for me now. I don't think he's going to win the Champions League with PSG, and I'd rather not see him get eliminated because I know he will. The dynamic between him and Mbappe, by the way, I don't think is good at all. It's my opinion, but I don't think they get along very well. I don't think Messi particularly likes him, and I think Mbappe would rather Messi wasn't there so that he could be the star of the team. So I don't think they're going to be winning the Champions League.
But I just want to say before we move on to, because you know what, I think we should give Mbappe also a little bit of credit. True. I want to say a quote from a friend of the pod, Scott Saunders. He was here for a preview of Wales, and he said the following that I just really like. I found it and pulled it up. He's saying, imagine dealing your entire life with the expectation of being the next Maradona and actually only to deliver on it. Like, to actually deliver on it. Not too many people can say they've managed to reach that, you know? And for me, that's wonderful. How many times you actually say that when you're a kid, you dream something, and you actually, how many people do you know of that actually managed to reach everything that they ever wanted?
Yeah.
It's Lionel Messi.
It's incredible.
It's the best ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I do over the last couple of years find myself looking back and just feeling incredibly fortunate to have seen the entirety of Lionel Messi's career. I know it's not done yet. He's still got that next chapter. Will it be at Inter Miami? Will it be, wherever? But the debate will go on for the next few months. But I'm very, very lucky to have seen
we all seen him live here in the pod?
Say that again?
Have we all seen him live play?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're lucky ones, people. Not that many people.
John, when did you start with Barca?
2004.
So you've seen the whole of Messi?
Yeah, you've seen the whole.
I by chance saw his debut in 2004 to 2006. I was not watching every match. It was still not readily available in the US like it is today. And I was still just getting into European football, but I knew Barcelona was something special. So, I just by chance got to see his debut, which was absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful. But
wonderful indeed. All right. Speaking of wonderful, are we ready to move on to talk about some of the other performances, some of the top performances, best players of the tournament, best 11, I should say?
100%.
I think so. I think we've covered all the names and all the thoughts we had in the final.
Yeah.
Wait, one final thing. Did you ever thought the final was going to be in trouble for Argentina? Because like, even when I was watching with my friends, I was like, this is Messi's final. Like, I was nervous, of course, in the penalty 100%, but I was like, I'm confident. I'm confident that they can pull it through, because it just, for me, Messi lifting the World Cup trophy was like reading, and I was confident that they wasn't going to finish differently.
There were a few moments, I have to say, at 2-2, I thought they'd thrown it away. When France reminded me a lot of Real Madrid when they got the 2 goals in 2 minutes there. Like, it reminded me a lot of when they got the two, when Real Madrid got the 2 goals against Man City in the semi-finals, and I knew Real Madrid were going to go on and win the game in extra time. That's what it reminded me of, and I thought France might even nick it in normal time. And then weirdly, when Messi made it 3-2, I thought this stinks of Kylian Mbappe. And then he went and got the third, and there it was again. And I thought, oh dear. Penalties, I was weirdly confident for Argentina because I think Martinez is a god.
Yeah, I felt good about that too once it got to penalties. I'll say, I think because of the matches that got Argentina to the final, they knew, I mentioned this earlier, they knew how to swim in those deep waters. So when they were up 2-0, I messaged in the chat. I was like, let's not get too ahead of ourselves because, we've been here before. And it happened. So I kind of felt like they would concede that lead, but I'm with BUGA that I never lost confidence that Argentina would come out on top. And some of that is because of the way that the players responded. Even when France leveled it at 2-2 and again at 3-3, you never saw their heads go down. You never saw a clear sign that they were losing faith in themselves. Argentina always responded. And so I think that kept faith for me as well.
And to finish off right before team of tournament, for me, this game, I always for Mbappe, for me, he was like really good. Like he was, of course, the best next player for the generation, but I never gave him like the recognition in my head of like he's actually gonna be this good, like that good, like he's gonna be the next big thing. And I think this game for me cemented like, okay, this kid is going like hold your horses because this guy is gonna reach the very, 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 very top if he's already not at the top. Like hat trick in the final of World Cup, like. Jesus, and like Pablo said, like 3 penalties. Like he reminds me a lot of Ronaldo, like of the R9, real R9.
Okay, that one. Okay,
the real R9. Yeah, for sure. I'm with you on that. Okay, so we're gonna talk best 11. Let's get this out of the way. Are any of us making an argument for best player other than Lionel Messi?
No.
No, I'm going to Messi.
Okay, all right, and we're just gonna move on from that.
But
Lionel
you
Messi
have to say. Wait, Pablo.
We were predicting that as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I was gonna say like what like by far the best player in the tournament. Like every single game, it was like wow. And even people who don't watch the sport, I know if people don't watch the sport, they've been watching the World Cup and they go like, okay, this guy's good. Like
he scored in every knockout round,
everyone,
including
the final,
2 goals in the final,
and he had never done that before.
Yeah, and here's the other point I want to call out. He finally overcame that stigma of not being able to finish from the penalty spot. This tournament, he did miss one, but consistently, the ones that really mattered, he buried all of them.
Dude, that penalty that he
it was cold-blooded, dude. He put it just out of reach of the keeper.
But I was like, 1 second.
Just tucked it in like a sweet little baby taking a nap. Just here you go, sweet little angel.
One step from Lloris to the other side, and he would have saved it. But that's what I mean. It's written in the stars. That penalty.
Messi sees things that normal humans just don't see. He processes things at a speed that we just can't understand. You know what I mean? It's like when we use words like infinity, like the human brain can't really understand what that means. Messi's brain can. Messi's brain is on that type of level. It comprehends things in a different way that we just can't get to.
Dude, but it was slow. Like it was so the pace of the shot was super smooth, slow, and it was like boom, and it entered, and I was like, okay.
I mean, that's like here's the thing. Hugo Lloris is going to have nightmares about that penalty for his entire life. He will wake up having just sweat dripping down his face from seeing that ball slowly roll across the line over and over and over again.
Yep.
All right. We ready for best 11?
Yep.
All right. Let's start from the back. Start with goalkeepers.
Yeah.
We'll just go around. We'll take different turns of going first, and then everyone else will yell and scream and tell them why they're wrong.
Fantastic.
All right. Pablo.
Yeah.
You're first on the hot seat. Who is your keeper for the best 11?
This has changed after the final because I think it has to. I would have gone either Livakovic or even Bono was the man I went for. But I have to go for Emi Martinez because I do think ultimately the final is the biggest game of the tournament. I think he was superb before that as well in the shootouts and even in normal time. And that save at the end is incredible in the 123rd minute against Colomwani. So I have to go for Emi Martinez because he won, of course, the tournament with Argentina, and also he made huge saves along the way. So it's natural that he has to be the goalkeeper of the tournament for me.
Hugo, who you got?
El Dibu. El Dibu Martinez, but this is the hardest position to decide. Like the 4 goalkeepers that reached the semifinals, the 4 could have been here. Bono, Livakovic, Lloris, Dibu Martinez. But at the end of the day, for me, that save against Colomwani, that is worth the World Cup.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I have similar thoughts. Bono for me was absolutely incredible. I actually thought Martinez, when they gave up that second goal, I know it was an absolute golazo from Mbappe, but I thought Martinez should have done better with that one.
Good point.
If things would have gone a different way in that match, I would have looked back on that one and maybe pointed a finger. But then, as you guys said, he completely redeemed himself and then some. And once it got to penalties, I was like, okay, now you're in his playground. Mm-hmm. Good luck. So I'm with you on that one.
His mental strength to keep himself in the game by not receiving a shot for like 90 minutes and then coming out with that save for Colomwani and, like you say, the penalties. Superb. Yeah. Like I honestly want to read a book or something about him because it's like I want to learn to be like that. I really need that sort of mentality, that strength in my life because it's amazing. It's inspiring how he's able to keep himself like that. And I think you could make the argument he could be one of the best goalkeepers in the world. He's certainly one of the best keepers I've seen in my lifetime. He's really that good. I'm really surprised how in 3 years, 4 years, this guy has reached the top, the absolute peak of football.
Yeah, it's his shithousery, as they say, is of course very fun, very entertaining to watch. But it's one of many ways that Martinez finds a way to be involved in the match. Even like BUGA, like you said, if he's not saving shots, if he's not directly involved, he's going to find a way to influence the match, whether it's calling out support for the defense, it's lining up a wall for I don't know if you guys saw the replay where he was lining up. There was a free kick for Argentina, and they were lining up the wall, and some of the Argentinian players joined the wall, and he runs over and is telling them where to go to get in front of the keeper's view. Do you guys see that one?
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. He finds a way to get involved and mix things up. So, hats off to Martinez. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. All right.
Right back.
Defensively, then, are we going to agree on a back 4, or did any of you go with like a back 3?
I go back 4.
Back 4. Okay.
What about you guys?
BUGA. I went. I could go either way, but I went back 4.
4.
Yeah. BUGA, kick us off. You can go any direction, any position in the back 4.
There's only one way to read lineups, and it's goalkeeper and then right back.
Okay.
It's always from right to left. Right to left, always. That's the way you do it.
Is that in every hemisphere?
In every language, every hemisphere. Penguins do it.
Sometimes some people read right to left and left to right.
No.
Okay, I just want to be considerate. But all right, go ahead.
Best right back of the competition, Mr. Achraf Hakimi.
Yeah. Could have gone Koundé up until the final, but he got exposed pretty bad there. Pablo, do you have anybody else above Hakimi?
Those were my 2. I actually before the final, I put Koundé. Actually, I had Koundé right back. I'm still tempted to, but I'll go for Hakimi because I want to get more Moroccans in there and they deserve it. So I'll agree on Hakimi, but Koundé would have been my other option. Other than that, I don't have anyone actually.
There are so many people that put Diego Dalot, and I'm like, okay, what?
Yeah,
I'm like, sure, he's good, but for me, you have to finish in the top 4. Like, you remember? I remember World Cups by top 4. I don't remember.
I agree
the
with.
other teams.
I'm with you on that, BUGA. I would not put Dalot in the best 11, but if Portugal kept going, I think he has an argument to slide in there. And I'll say Portugal going out. If anybody is low on that list to blame, I would say Dalot is on there. I didn't say that very clearly, but you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
One right back that I want to throw in, Molina for Argentina.
Yeah.
I don't think he knocks out Hakimi, but honorable mention, I would say.
I think also another honorable mention has to be Montiel. Montiel, I always give him stick. He's never started, but I didn't realize he had never missed a penalty in his career. That's insane. And also Scaloni was talking how after after the halftime ended, between penalties and between the extra time and penalties, he was crying. Montiel was crying because he gave the handball, and Scaloni went to him and he was like, "You're gonna shoot the fourth penalty." And to once again go from crying to 10 minutes later be the one giving Argentina the title. Mental strength, people. Mental strength.
Yeah, I was happy for him. That was a good. Just the narrative of Argentina winning this had so many layers. I mean, the stats of Messi: most minutes played, most matches, scored his 98th goal. Like you mentioned there, Montiel gives up the handball, but then gets to sink the last penalty. There's so much to it that just amazing. Okay, that's our right back. Center backs. I guess I'm up for going first.
Go on.
I'll start with Romero.
Ooh.
Okay. If I'm gonna put one from Argentina, I'm gonna put Otamendi. Not Romero. Okay. I think Otamendi playing every single game. Otamendi, he was insane in this game. He looked like a rejuvenated player. And honestly, it's been a while since I can say, like, wow, what a player from Argentina has in defense. Otamendi, for me, has to go there. More than Romero, more than Lisandro Martinez, Otamendi, for me, is the guy. And some people don't even have Otamendi there. Like, Sky Sports put Maguire. Like, once again, what the hell are you talking about? Maguire, like, he had one good game. He was the best player against USA, but that's it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say,
barely it. So, for me, Otamendi has to go there, and there are other shouts out there. I think Morocco, Roman Saiz probably could have made the cut. Well, we still have one more position, but I think
still have one more.
But I think we all know who that guy is going to be. I don't know, but I put Otamendi. For me, my first center back, Otamendi.
Yeah, I put Otamendi, and then who wants to say the obvious?
Well, hang on, real quick. The reason why I went Romero is because he had the task, really, of covering Mbappe for what was it, 120 plus minutes, and for 80 minutes, he was shutting him down pretty well. I know that Molina was the primary coverage there, but Romero, a big responsibility in helping out with Mbappe. So for that, I kind of gave him the edge. But I honestly, on my chart here, I have Otamendi / Romero. I could have gone either one with that. I love that center back pairing.
Yeah. I got to say, this might be a bit of a unpopular take. I don't think they had amazing finals, actually. I think as soon as France applied pressure, I thought they both crumbled. I thought Romero was far too aggressive coming out of position and leaving gaps in behind. He does that too often, in my opinion. And Otamendi, I thought, was awful for the first penalty. You know, that it's game over. It's a 2-0 win for Argentina if Otamendi just does his job.
Yep.
Complete lack of concentration, stupid penalty, and all of a sudden, it's a nightmare game for Argentina. So I've gone for Otamendi, and I think he massively overperformed like his level. And huge credit to him. Romero, I think, also works well at centre back for sure. But I think the final, as soon as France started applying pressure, they both slipped.
Yep. All right, so Pablo, it's back to you then for the other center back. So
I have gone Otamendi next to Guardiola from Croatia because I thought he was superb, very good. I mean, he's had this huge price tag over his head, like 110 million euros. I've heard from the Telegraph. I'm like, what is going on? But he was very good, so fair play to him. And sometimes I think with these guys with these 100 million price tags, I never really see it, but he had a superb tournament. Weird outside shout for me at centre back is Rodri from Spain, who I thought went in there. I'm not going to put him in because we've gone out in the round of 16 to Morocco. I'm not just going to put that, but I thought he was absolutely superb. And I think actually on SofaScore, his rating is the 4th highest in the tournament as a whole. Rodri I thought he was flawless. And obviously Spain didn't go out because we shipped goals. We went out after a 0-0 draw. I thought he was immaculate, superb.
That's a good shout, actually. That's a really good shout because Spain ultimately didn't get knocked out because they were conceding too much.
Yep.
You know, the problem was on the other end of the pitch. Yep. I like that. I went Saiz. I think, because I think the Morocco defense was just so lights out. I mean, it's hard to find anything wrong with them. I know France, things kind of fell out the wayside there, but for me, I like having a heavy influence of Morocco in my defense.
Yeah, felt that.
No, I've gone with Guardiola. I think Guardiola was out of this role once again, and he showed everything like pace, tenacity, intensity, ground duels won, aerially he was immaculate, and all by playing with the Batman mask, like that takes you away so much peripheral vision, like insane. Like I mean, he got caught out by that one by Messi, and I think
I was gonna say,
you know, wait.
like,
You know what? You know, no, but you know why? Actually, that helps him because people make such a big deal of that. It means that the defender must be good. You know, like
yes, I get what you're saying.
You know,
if Messi does that to a nobody, then it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
They made a very big deal out of it, and a good point is like that is because the guy you're actually going up against must be good, and that's exactly that's for me actually was the thing that instead of taking him out of the list, cement him even further.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
BUGA, it's back to you for a left back pick. Right?
So
yes.
So far, Diego Martinez, Hakimi, Otamendi, and Guardiola.
For you, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got all four there. Left back, here is where, look, people are going to say Theo Hernandez. And of course, Theo Hernandez is probably the best left back of this competition. But I don't know. I haven't been that surprised with him for the whole tournament. I think there were two games. The one game I think he was the best player. Well, two actually was the first one from France against Australia, and then the semi-final against Morocco where he scored 2 games, and against England he was terrible. True. And I'm gonna give a player, another left back that had 2 games, amazing 2 games, and for me he's even better, or not even better, but you know what I mean. Like he was, I think he should be in here, and I'm gonna put Mitoma from Japan.
Oh wow.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna put he's in my team of the tournament.
Wow!
Because I think Japan did amazing stuff here in this competition as well, and that save that he did last minute to keep Japan in the game, keeping the ball out of going out of bounds, and I think every time he came in, impacted the game. There are not too many players that you can say bring him in as a substitute, and you just know he's gonna impact the game, and he ran the show ever since he came in against Spain, against Germany. I'm going to put him in there.
I had Hernandez because I wasn't expecting to start, stepped in for his brother there. But I do want to put in a dark horse argument for Daley Blind from Netherlands.
Oh.
32 years old, had no business going to this World Cup. He's been nowhere for his club the last how many years, shows up to this tournament. Netherlands, I would say, overperform expectations. And if not for a slight defeat in one of the wildest World Cup matches, it's Netherlands on to the semifinal.
Yeah.
And honestly, maybe lifting a World Cup trophy.
Mm.
And Daley Blind, big part of that.
But it didn't happen.
Fair enough. Like I kind of agree with your points. I have gone Theo Hernandez, but the more I think about it, am I just going up because that's what everyone else is going with? Like when I actually think about his performances, how good actually was he? So yeah, it's the sort of thing that like if you don't put him in, everyone goes, "What?"
Exactly. Like I actually think many people are going Theo Hernandez, but when you go game by game, like what actually makes you go like this is the weakest position in the whole tournament?
Yeah. What about Tagliafico?
I was gonna say Tagliafico and Acuna maybe as well. Like they two had
That's the problem. They split time.
Yeah.
If even just one of them would have gotten significantly more playing time than the other, then I think you make that argument. So I don't know. Maybe they share that role.
Maybe. Or what we could do
is put Jordi Alba in. Yeah, agreed.
No. I was gonna say push Guardiola to left back and put Roman Saiz.
Well, so hang on. Here's what I wanted to find before we go further into this. Are we picking the best 11 or the 11 best?
The 11 best.
Okay.
I think we're doing 11 best.
Then in that case, I would make the argument of going with 3 center backs in the back with Hakimi out there as well. So yeah, slide Gvardiol to left back, throw in Saiz or
I don't know. I still want to go Mitoma. Does nobody think Mitoma was good?
Yeah.
But Japan has to be there. Japan has to be there.
I know what you mean.
Like Japan.
Yeah,
I know, but like what they did, beating Spain and Germany. When is the last time that you've seen that?
Huge. That is huge.
When is the last time you've seen that?
Who was it that came off the bench for them though?
Mitoma and Asano. Those two were the ones who came always. And Rizzo Duan, the guy from Freiburg.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. There's an argument to be made.
I'm just going to say that. You two decide because I have Mitoma. I think you two go in Teo Hernandez. I wouldn't mind going Teo Hernandez. I mean, either, but that's the only thing that I say.
I'm gonna you know what? I'm gonna circle back and I'm gonna put my vote down for Teo Hernandez for the original reason. Wasn't expecting to start, had to step up for his brother. Low expectations that I think he overperformed and helped get France all the way to the World Cup final. So
yeah, let's go Teo. Let's go Teo.
Okay, good for you, Teo. All right, midfield then.
CDM.
Back to me to start.
CDM.
What do you want to do? Should we list our three each, or? I
think we go CDM because I think the CDM is given.
Let's list three because I didn't really think through who is it going to be one CDM, is it going to be two?
Okay.
I've just got three midfielders.
There's a lot of names in midfield.
A lot that could go.
A lot of names. I'm going Luka Modric.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm going. This is so tough. I'm going Fernandez.
Oh, wait, Enzo
Fernandez. And I'm going Kovacic.
What?
Oh.
What?
I know.
Go on.
I know.
What the hell? Man?
I know.
I was going to mention Kovacic, eh?
Yeah, he deserves to be here as well. But
he was doing things that were just making my jaw drop. He was giving me joy, like pure joy. I was giggling like a little kid watching him play. Like it was so much fun watching him just glide through the midfield.
Yeah.
I think I'll tell you my free, and then I've put some of the players that you mentioned as a sort of like substitutes.
Yeah.
You know, I have 5.
Yeah.
First of all, I have Enzo Fernandez in there. That's a given for me.
Okay.
I think Antoine Griezmann is there. He had an excellent tournament for me. Probably the third best player of the tournament. If I had to give somebody that I think is Messi, Mbappe, and then Griezmann. And I'm going to put Amrabat there.
Yeah.
I think Amrabat was incredible. And it's just like barely Luka Modric, Kovacic, and Jude Bellingham. For me, those are the 3 that go like substitutes. But for me, Modric could easily go over someone like Amrabat. But Enzo Fernandez, Griezmann, Amrabat for me is the 3. Even someone like McAllister could have made the cut. Like I think midfielders this World Cup had been excellent. Have really been
honestly what I wrote down first was Modric, Amrabat, and anybody from Argentina's midfield.
Yeah, Rodrigo de Paul as well could have been there.
Yeah.
If you look at sorry to cut you off, Pablo. We'll jump over to you in a second. But if you look at, I believe it was interceptions, tackles won, and chances created, De Paul was actually the top of the 3 midfielders in all 3 of those categories, I believe.
For Argentina?
Yeah.
Or in general? Yeah. Like I know.
No, just for Argentina. Just for Argentina.
I know Amrabat had the best ball recoveries and the best kind of least times losing possession or something like that. For me, that's just incredible for a team like Morocco. He was the engine, and the way that he played, he's going to go once again to the very top if he gets a move somewhere. For me, I just have to go Enzo, Amrabat, Griezmann. What about you, Pablo?
Yeah, Pablo, set us in line.
No, that's my 3.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my 3. But who was it? It was close.
What was it again? What's your 3?
Enzo Fernandez, Amrabat, and Griezmann. But Bellingham is close for me. Kovacic is a good option. Modric is close, but I actually wouldn't put Modric in mine. I thought he was very good, though, but he doesn't get in mine. There was someone else. Bruno Fernandes who's a shout.
Bellingham.
Unahi.
Unahi. He was for me the one that made my jaw drop. Like Kovacic, those 2.
Yeah.
So look, De Paul is a really good shout. I saw a lot of team and tournaments go out and people said, past the bodyguard memes, like he should actually be in there.
Yeah.
McAllister as well was superb. So we got a lot of midfielders. We really do. But I'll go Amrabat, Enzo, and Griezmann just.
Okay. Forwards then. It's back to Pablo to start us off here.
Yeah, I've got my front three set. I saw a few alternatives actually coming in over the last few days, but I'm going to go for Messi, Giroud, and Mbappe.
Messi, Giroud, Mbappe. All right. BUGA?
I go Messi, Mbappe,
Morata.
Julian Alvarez.
Oh.
For me, what Julian Alvarez, this once again similar to Mbappe, was just like, okay, this kid is good, but how good? And I think this World Cup he has announced himself to me, and I happily have received a phone call and acknowledged that this kid is amazing. Like he's really, really good footballer, and I just go like, what an impact to do at how old is he? Like 20 years of age, and playing for Argentina in the final, winning the tournament, superb. And someone like Lautaro Martinez, like before the tournament started, we never would have thought Lautaro Martinez would not be a starter. Like no, and he benched him, and he plays even better with Messi, and he makes Messi better. Not that many players you can say that make Messi better, like because he gives him exactly what he wants: the diagonal runs, the movement in and outside the box. Julian Alvarez is a total forward, and they won this competition because of someone like him.
Yeah, I got the same front three. I got Mbappe, I got Messi, I got Alvarez. People talk about Ferran Torres being a David Villa type player. Julian Alvarez is a carbon copy of a David Villa. I mean, he can attack you from the wing. He can attack you right down the middle. He can finish for you. He can create chances for you. It's tough to keep him out. Giroud was on my short list, of course, but I know it's a tactical change. It's not necessarily his fault, but you can't make best 11 if you're taken off that early in the final. That's a deal breaker for me.
I actually got the whole 11 right.
Points for BUGA. Let's talk about some breakout players then. I know maybe one or two of them might have already been mentioned, but who you got on your list for top breakout players, fellas?
Do you want to go, Pablo?
Well, let's think. Amrabat kind of broke out. That's got to be one. Unahi is a huge one for me. Never even heard of him before, so I've got to go for him as a big option. In terms of other breakout stars, who is their Croatian right back, by the way? I think he plays at Celtic.
Juranovic.
Yeah. Juranovic, what I liked. Quite a rogue shout. There's got to be some others.
For me, I gone Unahi. I think it's the breakout player.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like I knew of him because I play FIFA Career Mode and Football Manager, but I'm just gonna put that out there. But I was like, okay, what this kid can do, right? And when I looked at Morocco's team, for me, the only part where they were like, they're not that good is the midfield. But you walk out of this World Cup and going like, no, this team is a total team. Like they got players in every single position, and sometimes, like a video game, for instance, the rating or whatever people say, that doesn't talk really how good a player can be. So I go Unahi for me as the breakout. But another one I want to mention is, for instance, I think what's his name? I think Amrabat as well. I think we take a look at Alexis McAllister is one that for me was like, okay, this guy is not that. He's good. He's a good midfielder. But whenever Lo Celso got injured, people were like, okay, Alexis McAllister will replace him. I'm like, I'm not too sure if he really can be that guy. And he has come out as a top player from this tournament.
Yeah, 23 years old, playing at Brighton right now. That's not going to last very long. No. Someone's going to scoop him up, right? I haven't looked up like what his buyout clause is or anything like that, but I gotta think that he's going to be undervalued right now, and somebody can swoop in. I should say. Excuse me. My goodness, my words are already escaping me. Somebody could swoop in and take him for a pretty good fee there. I had McAllister on my short list. Gonzalo Ramos for one match was looking like that guy. But this was not really a tournament for breakout forwards necessarily. I think. Go ahead, Buga.
No, I was going to say it's a tournament for like the big guys. Not in a long time you see Mbappe, Messi, like the best players in the world doing the best. And I think there was like tournament for the big guns.
Yeah, and then outside of that, I think it was really defensively, but mostly in the midfield is where you saw some players breaking out. You guys mentioned some players on Morocco, on Argentina already. I think I hate to keep bringing up Netherlands, but Gakpo?
Gakpo?
Is that his name?
Gakpo sounds like a Chinese dish in like the restaurant. Like Kang Pao chicken.
I don't know, dude.
Kang Pao chicken.
Listen. Guys, this is going to be a common theme on this podcast, all right? As an American, I reserve the right to mispronounce any name, any word, knowingly or not, intentionally or not. That's my right as an American, and to do it confidently.
Okay. I think another one could be Livakovic for the general public. Like, I mean, we know probably Livakovic from Champions League and stuff like that, but people come out of here going like, okay, this Croatian goalkeeper is really good, and something probably that could take to the next level. I think not a breakout, but a one player that's also going to benefit himself a lot is going to be Bono. I think Bono comes out of this like a top goalkeeper, and maybe top G, and you could go like, okay, best goalkeepers in the world, and you could easily mention him, like no problem whatsoever.
Yeah. So I admitted possible bias here, but Tyler Adams and Yunus Musa from
Good
U.S.
shout.
men's national team.
Good shout as well. So who's the roomie gonna go to? The roomie for the best player going to Messi. The roomie for the team of tournaments have already gone out. Now we need the roomie for the breakout player.
I want to say McAllister because I think for his age, his under the radar club, and his performance, which was top notch, just regardless, any player of any caliber, any age.
I expected him to be dropped sooner, like from the lineup, and he never dropped. Like he came in and he was always in there to the final. I'm also gonna give the roomie to McAllister. You, Pablo?
I'm tempted for Unahi, but I'm happy to go McAllister. I quite like that pick because it's not like we're not going at just for like a 19 or 20-year-old, like just because of his age, we're still giving it to him, and I thought he was superb.
Okay, McAllister.
Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, we didn't really get to the disappointing side of the World Cup. Is there anything top of mind, like biggest disappointment before we wrap things up here?
Disappointment. I have to say that for me, Denmark was a disappointment. Spain as well were disappointments, both of them. I wanted to ask you guys, and particularly Pablo, there was I saw Luis Enrique on Ibai's stream, and Ibai asked him if he would have taken the same 26 players, and he said, there's one player I would have taken out. Which player do you think that guy was? Because I think it could be way more surprising. I don't know. I just wanted to ask what you guys think.
I think it will be someone who didn't play a minute.
But who?
Because people were guessing people who'd played minutes, and I'm thinking he wouldn't have kept bringing them on. People were guessing Nico Williams just because Nico Williams played, in my opinion, very poorly when he came off the bench. It's not going to be Nico Williams because he brought him on every game. He kept trusting him. In my opinion, I think if I had a gun to my head, I'd go Ugo Guillamon.
Yeah, I thought it would be Guillamon as well.
Why?
What makes you guys say that?
I thought it would be Guillamon or Ansu Fati. That's the ones two I thought.
But he brought Ansu on against Morocco.
But he did say like when what I saw of him wasn't that like amazing. So maybe
Yeremy Pino. Yeremy Pino is another option.
Maybe
0 minutes. I don't think it's Sarabia because he said I should have played Sarabia more in the stream as well, and I agree with that. I don't know why Sarabia wasn't played more. I'm going Guillamon, but the only reason that makes me think it wouldn't be Guillamon is like, what fuss is Guillamon going to be causing? Like, he's not like a big character. It's like a random centre back from Valencia. What's he going to be doing in the dressing room of Barcelona and Real Madrid players?
I wonder if then maybe we are making too much of it. Maybe it is the simplest answer, which is Ansu Fati, just because he wasn't fully healthy, he wasn't fully fit.
Fair point. Yeah. When he thinks that was a waste of a pick, I could have picked Iglesias or like another striker. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that could
something
be
like that.
Maybe that's what I think.
decent shout.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Spain as underperformers just because I think Spain was set up for quite a good tournament, actually, in my opinion. And they slipped right back into 2018 Spain, which isn't good enough.
So biggest disappointment.
Yeah, we talked
Spain.
about that quadrant. That quadrant of the bracket was probably the easiest route all the way up until the semifinal. So, yeah, definitely blew it for
surprise. Biggest surprise, Morocco. I guess that's a given.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
For sure. Absolutely. All right. Any final thoughts on the 2022 Qatar World Cup?
One last thing to say. Did you like the World Cup?
Yes. I did. I thought this was a fun one. I thought, going into it, I know there was a lot of controversy. I know that some folks were claiming that there was maybe going to be some outside influence on the outcomes of the matches. There would be some conspiracies. Well, let me bring up this one real quick. I did see one where someone pointed out that Messi versus Mbappe is the final. They're the two stars. They both play at PSG. PSG is owned by Qatar Sports Investments.
Good one.
One could argue that there may have been some strings pulled to make sure that, some of the superstars that play for PSG do well in this tournament. Who knows?
No, honestly, this is quite a dream for Qatar. I think the World Cup looks really good. I do think we got too many upsets in the quarterfinals and it killed it because those two semi-final ties weren't good semi-finals for a World Cup, unfortunately. So I think that killed a lot of people's hype because it was going to be really good. We didn't know we were going to get some unbelievable ties. And it was going to be mayhem. Like the game we got on Sunday, for example, people thought we were going to get a few more of those. Didn't happen. But Qatar will be delighted. They held the World Cup and Messi held it up. They will be over the moon. And like you say, Messi versus Mbappe in the final. This World Cup final will be remembered forever, so they'll be delighted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. I think the final was probably the pinnacle, of course. But I didn't like this one as much.
The World Cup, yeah.
Yeah, that's my take. I think the moment, like having it in winter, wasn't that good. I don't know. I didn't feel it as much here in this country, maybe because it was so far away.
It was difficult for me as well. I'm not going to lie. I was at university for a lot of the games, and I'm still working and stuff. It's not like summer where I can sit back and relax. I missed a lot of the games.
And also some of the games. I think this World Cup had more surprise results, but not better football. If you know what I mean. I think Croatia beating Brazil, surprise. Japan beating Germany, Spain, surprise, but not better football. Morocco beating Portugal, cool, but not better football. Like Portugal, Spain would have been a better game. Brazil, Germany in a quarterfinal would have been a better game, and stuff like that. I think maybe that's where that's my only thing. Sometimes you just want entertainment at the end of the day, and sometimes you want big results for shock value. But the thing about a result is that it goes like, yay, it happened, but after it is like, the game happens and you go like Brazil beat Korea like 4-1.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. We definitely did miss out on some of those big, exciting matchups, particularly in the quarter. And the semifinals were kind of a snooze, but it was good, clean football, I'd say. And I think this is a unique tournament because I know France were kind of looked at as a favorite going into it, but outside of that, there weren't any teams going in that were completely dominant, that were like, oh, they're definitely going to win. Other teams shouldn't even enter the tournament. Like there was maybe 4 or 5 nations going into this that had equal chance. And then beyond that, I think that, you got some teams that surprised some folks. That's where the upsets come from, Morocco and Japan, like you said, Buga. So it was a good, entertaining tournament for me. It wasn't the best ever. Will it be one of the most memorable because of what we talked about, Messi lifting the trophy, all of that? Yes. It was better than 2018. I'll say that.
I agree.
Yep, I agree. Better than 2018.
All right. So we're progressing then. 2018 was good. 2022 was better. 2026 is going to be the best ever.
Because we're going to be there. We're going to be there. Yep. Wait, what? Hey, yo.
Yeah, it's already planned. Buga and Pablo are going to be coming. I'm going to be hosting them here in the States. We're going to be going city to city.
Yes.
Doing World Cup things.
Yep.
4 years coming. Everybody else gets to join us along for the journey all the way until then, weekly podcasts here on the Engine Room. That's going to do it for the 2022 World Cup review and all that good stuff. We'll be back with our regular time now after this, right, fellas?
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll be getting started again in the new year now.
Yep.
Yes, getting started again with the new year. Club football back in action. We'll be talking English Premier League. We'll be talking La Liga. We'll be talking the Serie A and more. Bundesliga, of course. All the top leagues, whatever comes up in the headlines.
Transfer window, baby.
You can trust we'll be discussing it here on the Engine Room. So that's going to do it for this week. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
See you guys. Peace.